So, hello all. So, today we have All India rank 229 with us, Vijay Raghav Goyal, and he has secured this rank in his fifth attempt. And he has a very good score in geography optional, that is 312, which is till now second highest, because the first highest is by rank 39, and that is Deepthi Rohilla's marks, that is 323. So, this year geography has performed very well, and Vijay has been a continuous uh, student for guidance IS in terms of 500 plus and test series, and he's been writing tests from the last 2-3 years. So we'll be discussing his personal strategies, क्या उनकी strategies थी ज्योग्राफी ऑप्शनल को लेके particularly, और जीएस इन जनरल, एंड देखते हैं क्या उनका पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस रहा है ज्योग्राफी ऑप्शनल के साथ. सो वी वेलकम यू विजय ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर सेशन.
So welcome, Vijay, and
Uh,
congratulations for your success. And
Thank you, sir.
you have made me so much proud because from last so many years, geography has been a case of where people disregarded the subject and optional, and everyone talked about that the marking is not there, good marks are not coming. So it proved again that geography is a subject which is a very beautiful subject. And if you study well, if you prepare well, if you do the correct things, you definitely will be getting marks. So share your
Sure,
journey,
sir.
yeah? Because
Sure,
as
sir.
far as I know, this was your fifth attempt, and
Yes.
lasting for 5 attempts, it is in itself an example of great persistence and willpower, which very few people have. ठीक है, तो अपने बारे में बताओ थोड़ा सा कि what you experienced during these 5 years, or in fact, it would have been more than that.
Sure, sir. So, sir, in 2018, I got graduated, and afterwards, from 2019, I'm giving the exams. And I also understand, and a lot of people also point this out, that giving 5 attempts is something uh, which is difficult. But what I believe is that one should always compare where they are. So what happened with me is that I always try to see where I was on in my earlier attempts. So in 2019, whatever I scored, I was scoring better in 2021, and then better in 2022, and then better in 2023. So if there is improvement, that always kept me going. And obviously, there is a huge role of family, friends, and teachers.
Yes.
So because we have supports of those people, we never feel that this is a humongous task. So the time passes away, and things also start to move on.
Yes, yes, yes. So share your
Very well said. We have to understand from where our starting point was, और उसी से we can assess the time we have taken to achieve a particular milestone. तो बिल्कुल सही बात है, कहाँ से हमने स्टार्ट किया और क्या प्रोग्रेस रही, बिल्कुल सही है देखना. तो विजय, मतलब एक इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि अगेन द स्कोर इज वंडरफुल, यू हैव स्कोर्ड इन ज्योग्राफी ऑप्शन 312. ठीक है, एंड व्हाट वाज योर personal journey with geography as an optional, and then also address the negativity and the issues surrounding around geography optional in recent times.
Sure, sir. So, sir, my journey of geography was a little complex because there was a point in time when I was actually thinking to drop geography as an optional. So it was after my first attempt, I was giving mains, and my mains in geography was not good enough. At least I thought it's not good enough. And at that point, I was trying to skip geography and switch to something else. Then I saw my marks, and marks was decent enough. I got some 260 marks in 2019. So I thought that, okay, it is something which is doable. And then the major problem, again, the negativity which is coming out regarding the geography, I was also feeling the same thing. That is because the sources of geography is very limited. Limited in the sense that very descriptive sources are there. In all the books, will see that there's a lot of facts, and analysis part is almost missing in many of the sources. And so geography tend to become very cramming the kind of subject, at least for me. So what happened with that, again, guidance is played an important role here. I enrolled into 500 plus program after my second attempt, I think. And then I started to get very good examples, a better way of looking onto the same topic, which made the things a little bit easier for me. And so the marks also started to improve, and I also started to gain confidence in geography. So in 2021, I think I got 270 marks, and then in 23, I'm getting 312 marks. One more thing which I would like to add is that I think we tend to make optional, or rather, we tend to make geography a very complex subject, but it's not like that. if we just write simple things and we substantiate each point or each argument with a common example or with a very day-to-day example, it makes a huge difference. And this was something which I tended to do. I tended to just write a simple example after every point, which by and large everyone will be knowing. But because that is something which gives a proof to your argument, that makes a difference.
Vijay, I would like to interrupt you here. And because people will be listening to this interview,
Mhm.
this conversation between us. So when we are saying something, why not substantiate with example? So you are saying that you should do like this. So can you give me some example, like from the topic and how you would have done in the exam?
Mhm. Yes, sir. So let's say if there's a question about, I cannot recall any question from the mains itself,
You
but
can give an
let's
example.
say
Yes.
if there's an example about agriculture.
Hmm.
So if I'm writing that agriculture will require fertilizers and rainfall and those things, why? And I belong from Rajasthan. Why can I just use the example of Bajra? Because Bajra is from Rajasthan. I know about Rajasthan because it is something local to my area. So I will
Yeah.
give example of Bajra and rainfall. And then we all know about rice also, and we all know about how Bihar, Chhattisgarh are the areas where rice is grown intensely, and
Hmm.
those are the areas where rainfall is also higher. So
Yes.
naturally, it makes sense to give the example of rice and bajra if we want to compare agriculture with rainfall.
Yes. Yes.
So that is the case.
Also,
Or
I want to connect
similarly,
the case of Vijay because yesterday we took the topper talk of Shivang, and he also did the foundation at the same place as Raghav did. And he was of the experience, and he said particularly this thing about geography for me was in the sense of choreography. But later, that choreography of geography was shifted and switched towards chorology. So it became more scientific, more analytical, and more cause and effect basis kind of thing, and more logical. So
yes, sir.
that particular thing might be the case with you also as you evolved in geography as an optional.
Yes, sir, exactly. And I think one of the example in this particular regard can be about Delhi, because when we
Hmm.
used to read settlement geography, so initially I used to read settlement geography from a book or from notes, and it was kind of something which we are reading in Chicago and those things,
Hmm.
like Bergey's model and all those things. But we can use the example of Delhi. Why not use that Delhi has ring roads, so there can be
Hmm.
zonation within Delhi also. We also have metro, so that can be a sectoral model. So when we start to see the same concepts which are reading in geography in our local areas, it becomes much more interesting, much more relevant.
Hmm.
All
Yes.
not just for the student but also for the examiner. I think that makes a wonderful impression when we start to write answers.
So
Sir.
Vijay scored very good marks in both the papers. 154 in paper one and 158 in paper two, which is very commendable. So, what was your strategy regarding the preparation with respect to the time allotted to both these papers?
Uh, Sir, I was actually much comfortable in paper two compared to paper one,
Hmm.
because paper two, whenever I used to take the paper two, it felt like a GS paper.
Hmm.
So and paper one was more geography intense paper, more technically geography paper.
Hmm.
So for me, the first thing which I did was I started to make sure that my paper one is very good. So I provided much more time to paper one compared to paper two. If I take the time span of 5 years,
Hmm.
maybe some 70% of my total geography time would have been given to paper one only.
Hmm.
But because now I have a good command on paper one, it helped me to use the paper one's concepts in paper two. For
Hmm.
example, there was a case of, let's say, this growth pole model. So we have growth pole, and then we have Ashok ji's growth foci model also. So these two terms I was constantly using in paper two also, because anywhere where I'm using development aspect, I can use these concepts.
Yes.
Similarly, the agricultural concepts of paper one used in paper two. So that is something which was my basic idea, that make sure paper one is very good, and in paper two just use that thing.
Hmm.
So, what was your go-to formula regarding the amount of maps, diagrams, case studies in geography option? Because it is also a question which confuses many people. Some toppers previously have said that हर पेज पे एक या दो map होने चाहिए, diagram होने चाहिए, but still there is no fit and exact formula for that. तो इसके लिए what was your way of doing the things?
Uh, Sir, my answer might be a little different from others because
Yes.
I also have heard the same thing that we need one or two maps in every question. So if I share my experience, in my 2019 attempt, when I got 260 marks, I don't think I have drawn even a single map in my entire paper, in entire exam. Maybe one or two world map which I might have drawn in paper one. That was it. But still, I got 260. In the 2021 attempt, again I might have made like four or five or maybe six or seven maps in total in both papers, but still I
Hmm.
got 270, which I think was good enough marks in that attempt. In this attempt again, my maps were, I have increased the number of maps, obviously. I was trying to make map. I think I have made maps or diagrams or something in every second or third question, but again not on every page or not on every question, as many times we tend to hear. So what I
Hmm.
feel is that if there is a need of map in the question, you will be able to understand that. But we should not just force in any map or force in any diagram unnecessarily in the question.
Hmm.
So if it is natural, I think that would work.
In fact, UPSC this time has categorically said that you have to explain with suitable examples in at least 7, 8 questions this time. So
Yes, sir.
if either it should be natural or if it is asked and it is more logical to put.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Hmm.
So Vijay, generally we find that people talk about that the preparation journey of geography is longer compared to other options. And what I am of the view that why it becomes comparatively lengthier is that generally what happens, students when they are freshers, when they are starting to prepare, they have little idea about which classes to actually join for the foundation. And once you're stuck, once your beginning is not correct, then what happens in later attempts, you scroll through the books. Lots of books are there. As you said, most of them are very descriptive also. So they take hell lot of time. And that I really believe that that actually makes the journey very long. So what is your opinion in this regard?
Sir, actually, I have a very similar experience which you have said. So my journey in geography was also very long. And what happened with me was also the same, that I did my foundation at some place, but I realized that my knowledge is not enough. And then when I switched to books, a very strange thing happened, that the things which are written better in books, that is the same thing is also written better in my notes. For example, geomorphology is something which I was very comfortable with, but I also had very good books for that. But on the
Hmm.
same level, I think perspectives in geography, that was something which was totally blown away in my foundation course.
Hmm.
And I was not able to find any book which can also provide me a similar good content about perspectives. So that was a problem. And I think this is a correct problem, that we need to have a better foundation courses. And if there is better foundation course, the time period will surely reduce.
Hmm. So one question that is frequently in the mind of the students is that because normally it takes more time to prepare geography, as you yourself have suggested. So how you were able to balance your preparation? Because ultimately it is all about balancing the preparation, UPSC selection.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. Sir, what I feel is that I have two basic rules in this particular area.
Hmm.
See, there can be a lot of strategies of balancing GS and optional.
Hmm.
What I used to do is, first thing, that I used to have a timer with me, that
Hmm.
I have to study for, let's say, 9 hours or 10 hours a day.
Hmm.
And because I also used to write down every day that how much hours I have studied. Why
Hmm.
I'm doing this is because if I am studying for 9 to 10 hours, it becomes very easy to balance everything out, because 9 to 10 hours is a very
Hmm.
long period of time.
Hmm.
And if a person is studying for that period of time, the person will be able to balance out. So that is first thing. Now the time period is being taken care of. The second thing would be that a person always, or student always knows that in which area the student is feeling more discomfort, and
Hmm.
it should be the case that those areas should be taken up first. So
Hmm.
for me, for example, I was not good with ethics in GS,
Hmm.
and then in geography I was not good with few topics like perspectives, or in the human geography, basically those two areas were something which I was not good with. So I used to prioritize those first
Hmm.
in GS and in optionals. And once those things has been done out, it becomes very easy to sail through the preparation.
You have got actually good marks. I am seeing your marks right now. So ethics, you have got quite good marks, 117 marks. So that is quite
Yes, sir.
remarkable. Actually, you have got less marks in your essay.
Yes, sir.
If you had got good marks there, the rank would have been much, much higher. Hmm.
Yes,
So
sir.
you'll be again giving the again you will be giving the attempt, or what will be your future plans?
Sir, I think I will be giving the attempt, but not this year.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to get hang of what is happening, and if I will try to join the service. If I'm
Yeah.
okay with there, if I feel that I belong here, then I won't give the exam. But I have the one chance, and if I think that it's not something right to me, then I'll give a new attempt next year.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your message to people who are stuck into this UPSC cycle from the last 4 or 5 years and are on the cusp of quitting, and who are frustrated and are perplexed कि अब क्या करें, confusion है, dilemma है कि अब कैसे आगे navigate करें, और उनको एक last attempt अगर अपना देना है, तो what should be your way of telling them?
Sir, it's a very difficult thing to give something to those people, because it's a very mentally challenging condition in which these people are. I have also been into the same thing. So for me, at least, again, the thing which I will like to tell them is that have faith on themselves, have faith in God, talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to your teachers. They will support you a lot. And we read this concept of leap of faith in ethics, that आंख बंद करके आगे बढ़ जाओ. So that
By
is something which
Kierkegaard.
we
This
need.
concept is given
हाँ,
by Kierkegaard. Yeah.
yes, sir.
Hmm.
So just
Hmm.
do that, because
Hmm.
it doesn't take more. The time flies very fast. So it won't. The 1 year might look a long period today, but after 1 year you will say, okay, it flew. So just do it for taking a leap of faith, and I
Mhm.
think they will be there.
And what was your experience with the geography optional test series? I have seen that you have given many tests and they have been evaluated by many people. I will be soon sharing the evaluated sheets of you on the Telegram. But what was your experience and what was your way of learning with the test series of be it GS or optionals?
I think I had reached to a point where I was learning only via test series, and only via test series basically, because what I realize is that writing skill is something which is most important in mains. Many times what happens that people give 90% or 85% of their time to studying things and 10% of their time in writing. What should happen is that they should give at least 50% of their time in writing, because even if we have little amount of knowledge, if we are able to write that little amount of knowledge, we will get good marks. So for me, test series was something which I used to revise a lot. Whenever I used to find even a single mistake in the test series, I used to read why this particular mistake came out. And if I'm not able to find an example of any particular argument, let's say, then I used to find that on Google or any other book. So test series was something which I used to follow very religiously in that regard, and that helped me a lot, because the extent of knowledge and extent of examples which I had, that got improved by test series only.
Hmm. Himanshu sir?
No, it is correct thing you are saying. In fact, one of the biggest mistake most of the students do is that they prioritize reading more and more things rather than memorizing
Yes,
and
sir.
validating the things. And in fact, I tell my students also that test series or writing anything, it is also one way of revision. When you are writing, ultimately you are recalling things, you are making mistake, and it happens frequently that the things which you learn by doing mistakes, those are the things which you will carry with yourself throughout your life. So I
Yes,
totally
sir.
agree here. Yeah. So it has been like remarkable journey, because as I told you in the beginning, lasting 5 years is a very gigantic task, and you have done it and done it with the flares. So
Thank you, sir.
I think it should be
Yeah.
enough, Pranjal sir. So
Yes, yes,
Vijay,
yes, yes.
congratulations once again.